Back to ETBU Extra on the ETB Sportsnet at etbsports.com. Thank you for clicking in today during your lunchtime. We encourage you to join us each Wednesday from noon to 1 on the Sportsnet. If not, come in person to CC's Pizza in Marshall, Texas. While the show's being broadcast on the internet, you can have the buffet and a drink all for just $5. Coming up later on the show, we'll be talking ETBU Tiger baseball as well, as the head coach of the Tigers, Jared Hood, will be joining us after we talk Lady Tiger basketball with head coach Dustin Howard. He's also brought a player with him today, April Leonard, and we'll be talking to her as well. Coach Howard, as we talked with Coach Burt West, I know when you went on this extended road trip, you wanted to pick up a W, but unfortunately it just did not happen. So after the game last night against Louisiana College, what kind of encouragement did you give to your players to face the next part, which is the good old home time cooking at Ornelas Gym?
Well, I think we're more thankful of Ornelas and the way our fans are and as much support that we have. And you know, we had a lot of home games early, and we had a lot of our players that were new and just kind of didn't quite appreciate it. And now that we've been out on the road, and I feel like that tomorrow they're going to be very excited to play in front of the home fans. These kids have worked really hard on the road trip, and you know, once you go and play every other day for 2 weeks, basically, whatever you're good at during, you know, in that time, you're going to be good at it for the entire trip, and whatever you're bad at, it's going to be hard to change it during that time. And we've actually had a good chance and made some progress with changing a few of our shortcomings, and you know, on the way to turn them into strengths. And man, you know, we played the third place team in our conference last night in a hostile environment, in you know, away from home, and if the ball bounces a different way at the end, we win that one. So we're really close to where we need to be, and we're really even with the road trip, we've been able to make a lot of progress towards getting there.
I'm kind of curious, you know, these ladies that you have on your team, in high school basketball, they don't travel like this. You know, they might have a home game and a road game, and of course they're back home that night. As a coach, and these new players come to your program, and you've got these long stretches of road games on the bus, how do you help them to prepare them for that?
Well, you know, it's hard to prepare, but we've got to make sure that they get food and rest. That's basically the deal. You know, I know as a coach, and you know, I'm 34 years old, but it takes a toll on my body. So I can only imagine how it feels for a player that goes out there and plays 30, 40 minutes in a game and has to get on a bus and travel 6 hours and go to sleep at 3 a.m. and wake up and practice again at noon. And so we make sure that they're well rested, well fed, so that their bodies can recover as well as their mind. You can't simulate it. You can't, you know, tell them how hard it's going to be. They've got to learn. And you know, players like April Leonard that's here with us today. She's a junior. This is her third year doing this, and April is averaging 15 points a game over the last 4 games or more, and which is 5 points over her career average. And so, you know, you can tell that she gets it, and she realizes what it takes to play on the road, and you know, as a couple of our other older kids do. But you know, you can't simulate it. They've got to see it. They've got to learn how to take care of themselves as best they can.
I asked the question because I don't know if our listeners understand this, but here at the NCAA Division III level, at any college basketball level, as you mentioned last show, it kind of goes over 2 semesters. But in the American Southwest Conference, usually when you have a road game, it's on Thursday, Saturday. You usually have to leave on Wednesday because of the conference teams being so spread apart, and they don't get back until early Sunday morning. But on this particular stretch of the season for the Tigers, they had the long Thursday, Saturday road trip out west, but then had to jump on a bus yesterday at noon and travel to Pineville, Louisiana.
Well, it's worse than that, Mike. Because of the new year, we didn't play our first series of the new year Thursday, Saturday. We actually played it Saturday, Monday. So we went out to Austin and Belton on Friday.
That's correct. Yeah.
Played Saturday, Monday. Then we had a game Tuesday. Then we got back Monday, you know, late, early Tuesday morning, and we had to hop on a bus and go to Dallas, and then for a Thursday, Saturday contest, out Dallas and Abilene, and then we're back with 1 day off to go to Pineville. So, you know, the fact that was Saturday, Monday instead of the normal Tuesday, Saturday actually made it a little bit more difficult.
But what impresses me about these student athletes is they keep their grades up, and a lot of them end up on the dean's list or dean's list with honors, and they know how important it is to study while they're on that bus traveling.
Hey, you're right. We've got 12 people on our roster right now, and 6 of them had a 3.5 or better this semester, and we had 2 4.0s this semester and a 3.75 from a freshman. So it's difficult. People do not understand until you're in their shoes, what it means to miss class on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and have a test on Monday and be prepared for that thing. Takes a lot of communication ahead of time with their professors, which our ETBU professors, I don't know how it is a lot of places because I've only been a collegiate coach here, but our professors really work with us. They give them as much stuff as they can ahead of time. They let them make up stuff when it counts, and so we need all of that, and we need them to take care of business. We need the professors' help, and a lot of planning goes into making it happen.
Talking with the head coach of the Lady Tigers, Dustin Howard, here on ETB Extra, live from CC's Pizza in Marshall, Texas. The Lady Tigers are 5-8 in the year, 1-7 American Southwest Conference play. And since last night you played against Louisiana College, let's kind of talk about that game. Played at the LSU Alexandria location, their field house there. Kind of different environment. Never played there before.
We have.
Oh, you have played there before?
We actually scrimmaged Louisiana State University at Alexandria this year earlier in that gym, and it's kind of just dumb luck that it happened, and that we actually were kind of comfortable in that gym because we went down there and beat those guys in that gym and scored 95 points. So we played pretty well early in the season at that gym. So I think it helped our kids' comfort level just a little bit. In
case you're just clicking in, Louisiana College had problems with their home court with some water issues that happened months ago, and they've been trying to get that fixed, and the floor is just not yet ready for competition yet, so they had to move the game to Alexandria last night. You lose last night by a final score of 90-84. Kind of talk us through that game and kind of what happened.
Well, we had a lot of adversity in the first half. Our kids played hard. This was, I think, one of our best 40-minute basketball games. Our kids played hard for the entire 40 minutes, and really thought we deserved to win that one, but it didn't bounce that way. But our leading scorer, Amanda Rucker, senior, had hurt her Achilles calf muscle early in the first half, and so we had 18 points a game sitting on the bench the entire first half, and then we got her taped up at halftime, and she wanted to give it a go, and she played hard the second half. Defensively,
she had 9 points.
Yeah, she had 9 points all in the second half, right? And you could still tell it was bothering her, but she's a trooper. Her dad came over there at halftime. I called him over there, and boy, they looked at each other and they said, "Well, it's past 8 games. There's no red shirt, so if this is it anyway. So if you can do it, let's do it." And there was no question in my mind she was going to try to play, but that's one thing that probably didn't show up in the box scores is that she wasn't as effective as she has been, but definitely we could have used her the first half a little more. But had a nice game from Amber Carver, kind of come back from an ankle injury and then some time off on the break, and she's had some nagging stuff, and I thought that last night was one of the better games she's played. She really ran the floor and got 8 offensive rebounds, leads the league in offensive rebounds. So she really played well. Caitlin Packett hasn't been with the team for 4 games. Had some family issues over Christmas break, and this was her first game back with the team, and she was 4 or 5 from 3 during a lot of that during that stretch in the first half when Amanda Rucker was sitting on the bench, and for a sophomore who's really just been working hard and plugging away, waiting for her opportunity, she came up big for us. Secret Davis.
I noticed the box score. Yeah, Secret, 16 points off the bench.
16 points. She was 6 of 12 from the floor and 4 or 5 from free throw. She only had 1 turnover, and for Louisiana College, a team that presses almost the entire game, and April handles a lot of the ball responsibilities and dribbles a lot, but she gets tired and needs help, and Secret was one of the guards that helped us get the ball down the court, and she played really well last night, put together a nice game, and she's kind of been building momentum throughout the year. So we were proud of that. And, man, it just, it's unfortunate that we haven't been able to break through. And, we played Texas Dallas, the tied for the lead in our conference, all the way to the very end and just couldn't break through on the road in that one. We played Louisiana College last night, and, oh, man, if you would have asked me 3 minutes left in that game, I would have told you we was going to win, and we almost did. Had some unfortunate things, some rebounds that were in our hand and got slapped out and kind of rolled to a 3-point shooter, and they made the shot. Just some unfortunate things, but our kids are really coming together, really working hard, and I know that sounds like coach talk, but man, I feel like we're going to break through really soon and surprise some people.
Well, good news. You're back home tomorrow night.
Very
against
good news.
Sul Ross State University. Tip-off for the Lady Tigers against Sul Ross is 5:30. The game will be broadcast right here on the ETBU Sports Net. What can you tell me about the Lobos who are coming into the gym tomorrow night?
Oh, man, they're a much improved team. This is not the Sul Ross team of 2 years past. I do not see a lot of familiar faces on their roster. They have a lot of new players, have a brand new coach, a new playing style. They haven't won a conference game in years. I haven't looked at it, but since I've been back, they haven't won a conference game, and they've already won 2 this year. Beat Concordia, beat Ozarks at their place, and man, it's they're a better team this year, and I hope we've been preaching to our kids, just kind of talking about the standings throughout the year here and there, and our players have really taken notice with the way that Sul Ross has changed, their scores that we see, and we got a chance to look at them on film this morning, and they really play different. It's a totally different team. So we're going to have one of those things we can't remember from year to year. What they did. We're going to have to start this one fresh from scratch, and they're seeing us for the first time too, and it should be a battle. Those kids, they really play hard, and that's why they have 2 conference wins now.
In the last game that Sul Ross played, they lost Louisiana College by a final score of 77-72. They have not played since last Thursday. They got to make the long trip from Alpine. And of course, they will probably have a chance to practice today. Usually it's when they get here today, right?
I got an email saying that they was going to take the 10 o'clock practice time. And
on Friday, yeah.
I don't know if that meant, I haven't had a chance to email back. That was this morning, but I don't know if that means 10 p.m. tonight or 10 in the morning. But either way, they had a long trip. I can tell you that right now.
Just another glimpse on when teams travel on the road. They like to come to the site the day before to maybe get a practice in to get used to the surroundings. And so more than likely, if they're going to practice at 10 this morning, they've been on the bus all night long.
Well, 10 tonight or tomorrow on game day. But, yeah, it's about 12, 13 hours out that way if you only stop once. And, last year they came by van, which is very commendable. I don't know that if I'd be able to get up and coach a game and drive all the way back to Sul Ross that night. I don't know. I commend those guys, and if they're doing that again. But it's the rigors of the road. I listen to Coach West, who's been doing this for 41 years, and it's just different. Your whole routine is different. That just being on a bus, it sounds like, oh wow, you rode a bus for 6 hours and then you practiced ball and you slept in a hotel and you hung out all day the next day and shot around and lounged around. It seems like you'd be real well rested and all that, but it's just not that. The rigors of the road and not sleeping in your own bed and your normal sleeping routine. It all matters, and it takes a lot of mental toughness. So,
of course, the Tigers back home tomorrow night play Sul Ross. 5:30 tip-off, and then Saturday they host another team coming in to the gym, Howard Payne University, on Saturday afternoon. Coach, if someone makes any one of those 2 games on Thursday and Saturday, give us a perspective of who they need to look at on the court and kind of what makes you exciting about your players being on the court, kind of insight. Watch Amber and the way she handles the ball, or watch April. Kind of give us some insight as a fan what we need to look for as your Lady Tigers are playing that would excite us as good basketball.
Yeah, well, we'll start at the point guard spot. April Leonard is one of the most exciting players in our league. She is impossible to keep from getting to the rim by anybody in the league. When she decides to go, she's so crafty with her finishes, and she's about 4'10". 5 foot. She's 5 foot strong, and
April's our guest next. So.
And she's a very tall, long, 5 foot, high flying, and she can really finish around the rim. Amanda Rucker, you're not going to see a player that wants to win more than that kid. You're not going to see it. I haven't even talked to her today about her leg, but if it's attached, she's going to try to play. I promise.
Exactly right.
Amber Carver, she's an amazing talent. She's 6'6". I seen a guy that I taught in high school years ago, and he came up to me, "Hey, Coach, how you doing?" That's the biggest girl I've ever seen. And Amber can really shoot the ball. She can finish around the rim. She's one of her best assets is she is a great passer. Morgan Garrett Jr. is about as solid as a kid you'll see. She does everything well. She plays hard, plays defense, fundamental. Secret Davis, man, she's a high energy player. She can take you off the dribble. She can shoot the 3, and man, she makes a play. Sometimes it's worth more than 2 points because of the way that she increases our atmosphere. Taylor Alexander. She's a freshman, long, athletic post player, and she's like second in the league in block shots. And for a freshman, that's great. Malaysia Chisholm. Every once in a while, you're coming down the court and we're getting ready to play defense, and you're like, yelling and trying to shift the defense in the proper manner, and all of a sudden you look up, Malaysia's got the ball and gone, and you don't even know what happened as a coach. He just jumped out there and got it. We've got some kids that really play hard. Caitlin Packett, she shoots the ball from 6 feet off the line, was 4 or 5 from 3 last night, and been getting better. She's an exciting player, and I know I'm forgetting someone on our team, but what you're going to see from our entire team is you're going to see a team that is hungry. We've been so close at these last 4 wins, so close, and we're going to break through, and when we break through, it's going to be fun.
I asked that question to you, Coach, because I see that heart and desire in your players when I call the games. And folks here in Marshall, Texas, you need to come out and watch NCAA Division III basketball and see the athleticism and just how quality of basketball you'll see if you come out to Ornelas. Well, Coach Howard, thank you for your time today on ETBU Extra. We're going to bring the long 5-foot April Leonard in next to be our guest.
Her wingspan's at least 5'5".
That's right.
Seriously, she's a long 5 foot.
So April Leonard's our guest next. Coach, best of you in your Lady Tigers tomorrow night as you host Sullivan State at Ornelas, and then Saturday you host Howard Payne. See you later, and go enjoy your lunch here at CC's Pizza.
Thanks, Mike.
You're listening to ETBU Extra on the ETBU Sports Net. We encourage you, if you're in the Marshall, Texas area each Wednesday from noon to 1, join us at CC's, just right in front of Lowe's on Highway 59 if you're traveling out toward Jefferson. And during the show each week from noon to 1, you can get the buffet for a single price of $5, which includes the drinks, which is a saving over the regular buffet price here at CC's in Marshall. And we appreciate the CC staff for allowing us to come in each Wednesday from noon to 1 and kind of take over their dining room. And we have students from ETBU who come and join us during this time, as well as other coaches from other athletic programs. As a matter of fact, Jared Hood, the head baseball coach at ETBU, our guest later here on the program today. Coming up next on ETBU Extra, we're talking with Lady Tiger basketball player April Leonard. You stay tuned for that. Back in just a moment on ETBU Extra from CC's in Marshall, Texas.